Welcome back, traders, to an afternoon edition of Trade Cave. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, what happened with the miners today, the US securities, how those have been just a wild day for those as well. We're also going to talk a little bit about some other trades, some other plays that are happening now due to some news catalysts that are coming in, and let's get into it. So Bitcoin today actually is up 1.18%. I think I went over this morning. It's forming what looks like an inverse head and shoulders. We'll see it has to get above this red line to confirm that, and then we're heading back up to the high 40s. If it fails, we could come back down to the lows here in this channel, down to the 39, 38,000 level. Right now, we're in the center of this downward channel, and we are forming doji candles in here, meaning that price is undecided as to where it wants to go, and when it wants to make that move, it will do so explosively in one direction or the other, and there's no real way to know exactly which way that's going to be right now. Honestly, Bitcoin is very undecided. So let's take a look at the miners. Today, the miners were nuts. They were absolutely undecided. Today, let's bring up the extended hours on this one, and you can see that. So actually, I don't even need the extended hours. The regular session trading hours were just fine. So you can see, starting from the Fed meeting yesterday, or right before the Fed meeting yesterday, we did this big move from $19 all the way down to $17. That's a $2 move there on a $19 stock. That's a huge move in less than 2 days. Look at this like N we got that we're forming here, starting down here on Wednesday, all the way up to the top, bottom, then top again. We did the full range of this flag pattern or this handle pattern, which could also be a flag, that it's forming here on the cup and handle that I mentioned before. This is going to be an episode kind of about a lot about cup and handles because they're everywhere right now. But this is Marathon. Marathon is Mara, so affectionately known, is following this downward channel right now, this descending channel. It is at the top of it, and it is struggling, as you can see on every single one of these candles. It's struggling just a little bit more to get above, and it's staying inside of that channel, meaning that we're probably going to fail here and come back down to the center of this channel. Again, probably continuing to make this flag. This is the 30-minute chart, by the way. This morning was insane, though. If you saw my short this morning, we all came all the way back down to 1720, 17, what, 10-ish for a little while there. The miners looked like they were absolutely going to completely dump, and then out of nowhere, they just rocketed up, and it went all the way back up to almost $19 before it stopped here right at the top of this channel, continuing to create this handle. And I'm going to keep talking about this handle until it breaks. I'm going to keep talking about it until it gets above this descending line and back into this upward channel in an aggressive way. That's just the meta of what we're dealing with right now. That is the current theme occurring in all of our favorite Bitcoin miners, and as well as many of our other stocks and sometimes indices right now. So yeah, I think that we're probably going to continue to make this handle. I won't say that this handle is done until I get like at least two confirmation candles above this descending trend line going down in this descending channel. So until I get at least two candles confirming above it, or one huge bullish candle up, taking it solidly away from this descending channel, until I see that, I am going to say that this handle is continuing to form, and probably will do so down to like the $16 range. And if we zoom out even further to like I showed you before, the 2-week, if that cup and handle doesn't seem to want to form, we could potentially make another cup and handle, or even an inverse head and shoulders, whatever you want to see there, all the way down to $13. That's Marathon. Uh, CleanSpark, we'll look at that real fast too. CleanSpark did an amazing move today. CleanSpark is looking very bullish compared to its peers right now. It is still in that downward descending channel. It is still creating a handle, but it's also cross section with an ascending channel as well. So they're kind of battling for dominance here, going from the top of and bottom of each one here. See, it started at the bottom of the descending there, then it went to the top, then it came to the middle of the descending, back to the just to the top a little bit over the ascending, came to the middle of both, and then went back to the top of both, and then to the bottom of one, and now we're at the middle of the ascending again. It's all over the place. Notice though how price came almost to the bottom of my little box here at about 769. It came right up to this ascending channel that's been on my chart forever, just right at it and reversed. I love these big channels like this. They do a really good job of kind of showing you where price is likely to do a reversal and go back at least to the halfway point, or at least stop price will come to some sort of stop there usually. I love using these. It's really important, I think, for everyone that is trading stocks and looking at charts and learning to read them, to learn how to draw these channels. And if you want to see a video about how I draw my channels, I'd be happy to do that. Just let me know in the comments if that's something that you'd want to watch for 10 or 15 minutes, and I'd be happy to record that and do it for you. Anyways, we came all the way down here, completing this triple top pattern. So that's done because this is the bottom of that move. It's done. And when we came back up, now we're looking like we're doing a bull flag and like we want to go back to the top of this descending channel again before coming back down and maybe filling this gap down here at 734. I still hold my opinion that I think CleanSpark probably bottomed, and as a result of that, I have been rounding out my bag of CleanSpark. This is not financial advice, nor a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any stocks whatsoever. It's just what I'm doing with my portfolio based on what I'm seeing on these charts. But what I am seeing is I think CleanSpark found its bottom. I think it did, and it's not necessarily saying that CleanSpark can do nothing but go up from here, but I don't think that will come lower than that 646 going forward, given what I'm seeing in the larger chart here. I think we're probably going to slowly grind up, maybe chop around a bit, test the top of this ascending channel here. And once we break above this thing and stay out of it for a candle or two on the weekly, this is the 2 week candle, but candles, but on the weekly, I think we're going to be out of that ascending channel, and we're going to be breaking out and up from that moment on. And that's what I'm seeing on a lot of these Bitcoin miner charts. Let's look at Bitfarms. They actually didn't do as well as some of the others. They actually were down today by 1%, while others were up by a few percent. It hasn't moved in after hours, and that kind of plays with the narrative again that it's creating a handle. And this is on a 2 week format, by the way. It's creating a handle, and it might drive a little bit lower before going back up. Let's take a look at what its intraday action was. Let's see here. Where is today? Today started right here on this red candle, right at the bottom of my descending channel, which is forming the handle of that cup and handle that I've been talking about on all of these charts for a while here. This is coming down to the bottom of it. It went it went from the bottom nearly to the very top of this thing. At the top would have been 240, but it went to 238 and then flipped around, and then it got pinned to the middle section of this, and it's trying to ease back up here to the top of this ascending channel again, which will probably be about 237, maybe 238 again, before it eventually turns around and tests these bottoms down here. Because right now we're doing so we had a high, then we had a low, then we had a low, then we had a lower high here, then we had a lower low, and now we've made a lower high, and my expectation going forward is to make a lower low beneath this 219 right here, and probably breaking down into that $2 range here going forward. If this does not break out to the upside and confirm that cup and handle um, formation that I've been talking about. So if it confirms the cup and handle formation I'm talking about, this gap will stay unfilled for a while, maybe forever. We'll see, and start breaking out and up to the $3 mark again on Bitfarms. So keep an eye out for that. This one can honestly go either way. Same with Mara. I think CleanSpark probably won't make a big downward move like that unless something breaks in the market for Bitcoin miners, but it is a little more bullish than that. Let's look at BTBT again. I know I'm always looking at the four. These are my four favorites, though, so I'm always going to talk about them. If you want to know about a different one, just let me know. I'll talk about it. That's this one also intraday. Where did we start today? Here on this one, and we came down, went up, and then got beat down again. And this one actually ended up plus almost 2% like some of its peers, but I do think this one looks more likely like it wants to come to the bottom of this ascending channel before going up again and maybe forming some sort of double bottom here on that after it's completed this head and shoulders that it's got on its chart on the 1 hour. And then that completion of that, yeah, well, it did complete that head and shoulders. Now it looks like it wants to do a double bottom sort of situation. Oh, hold on, let me do that better actually. So bottom, bottom and then take off from there. And we'll see, maybe it'll get some resistance in this area here going forward. But it completed a head and shoulders, came down. In fact, I can get rid of this channel now. That's gone. That's no more. That formation has been made, and now it looks like it wants to maybe do a double bottom, or maybe it'll get stuck down here, go further. We'll see, but I'm not going to call it until I start really seeing it form, but that's what I'm seeing what could occur going forward based on how these candles are forming. Now, of course, that could change. Anyways, let's talk about bonds. Wow, the power of the Fed. So Jerome Powell said that they weren't even going to cut rates in March. He said the earliest it's going to be is May, maybe. And the bonds clearly don't believe him. The bond market clearly, based on how much we went up, we were up at one point over 6%, up almost to 63.50 on TMF today. That's the triple leveraged 20-year U.S. Treasury bond. Um, they clearly don't believe him. They clearly believe that the Fed is lying and is going to cut rates earlier. Otherwise, we would not see a 6% jump the day after Jerome Powell said that we are not cutting rates now. We're not cutting rates in March. Maybe we'll do it in May. And this is clearly a an early reaction to that. Anyways, I do see lots of gaps below that we could potentially fill as the market realizes that Jerome Powell was telling the truth and that the Fed probably won't be cutting until May. I do see us probably, at least since we hit the 200-day moving average right here and rejected right off of it, and in after hours we are moving down now, giving us a lot of negative pressure here. I do think that we probably will backtest 60. That's a psychological level to backtest, and if that fails, we'll probably fill this gap down here to the high 50s, and maybe even as low as 57 potentially before we move back up again. One thing I'd like to point out is that my bottom signal here, this red dot, that's a bottom signal that I've been working on here. So this matched with a green line down here on the VIX fix, and if it's within a few candles here of oversold on the RSI, I like to think of that as a bottom signal. That's been working out for me lately. So as you can see, it also worked out here, just took off right after that bottom signal. And that's one that we're going to talk about again here in a few minutes when we look at the next stock that I have on my um, to-do list here for this video. But on the bonds, I think this is probably going to be one of the best trades of 2024. And we got a little sneak preview of that today with this 6% jump, which is now 5% and a half, and even less now in after hours. But if it can do that in one day without a rate cut, what's going to happen when a rate cut occurs? Are we going to move up 10%, 20% more? This we didn't even get a rate cut, and we got a 6% day. That's amazing. What's going to happen when the rates actually get cut and these things actually see tangible changes in the rates for the treasury notes? That's going to be fantastic. That's going to be crazy. All right, let's move on to the next one. The next one is going to be news driven. So you can see this: U.S. approves plans to directly target forces in response to the attacks. So what's going to be impacted by this? Well, oil, because they're going to need a lot of oil to run these things. A lot of their machines and everything basically is going to need tons of energy to be doing this stuff. And as you can see, oil kind of created a bottom down here in December, and it's been moving up pretty aggressively since. We came back down after we hit the 200-day moving average on US oil, and now we're coming back down and testing the 50. We're stuck in between the 100 and the 50. If we get up and over this 200-day moving average, and this ends up becoming part of like a wave going up, we could see highs all the way up in the 84 range on oil, which will have big impacts on stocks like Exxon, Chevron, other oil, gas companies like that, and other companies related adjacent to that. And you can also see here that we are also making what's this? Cup and handle. There's the cup. There's a handle. As long as we don't go any lower than this 50-day moving average right here, I'm going to call that a handle that we will bounce off of. Maybe find some resistance up in here as we try to retest the top of the cup, and then move on up from there to complete the move somewhere in this resistance above up here in the 80s. That's what I'm thinking for oil, which will have a really positive impact on any gas-related or oil-related stocks. And then we also have Lockheed Martin. So this had a bottom signal here on Tuesday, which was yeah, Tuesday, which was 2 days ago. We had a green bar on the VIX fix. We had oversold on the RSI on that, and this is a daily chart. So that was my bottom signal, and I've been waiting. It's kind of chopping around here, but that news with the U.S. approving it, their plans to directly target specific forces is probably going to see a pretty good move on this stock since they are directly related to that news, and a bottom signal just came in on this stock. And I am in this position. Full disclosure, I'm already in this. I have call options on Lockheed Martin going out until March that I am currently slightly down on because we have this chop, and that'll happen when you have chop in price action. Your options will suffer, but it is slowly moving up in my direction. Lots of long wicks on the bottom of these candles, giving me even more confidence in this move. And after hours just now, we're up a little bit, and I'd like to see what the morning opening looks like, and that will be pretty exciting. So anyways, that is the afternoon edition. There's lots of cup and handles out there on a lot of the stocks that I'm talking about and looking at. There's some really good trades possibly in oil stocks, oil related stocks, Lockheed Martin, weapons manufacturers and aerospace engineering stocks, due to some current events that are occurring out there in the world. And then also the bonds. The bonds are looking really, really good today, and I think that that's probably going to continue after we get a little bit of a digestion of this move, uh, and especially once we see a cut in interest rates. That's going to look pretty amazing, and I'm going to be very happy that I'm holding those. So with that said, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a profitable day.